So I went to Japan in October, so this video is a bit overdue, but I am finally recording it and talking about how I printed these photos in Japan. So you might have seen some snippets already of the photos in my journal, and I've gotten some questions about how I printed it out, like what machine I use. So I don't actually own a photo printer at all. I have a regular printer, but I don't have a portable photo printer, and I did contemplate getting one for the trip, but like looking into it, the film is quite expensive, like the photo paper, because you have to buy the specific one for that machine, and I didn't feel quite ready to commit to buying a photo printer just yet. So I was looking into alternative options, and I saw that in their convenience stores you can just print from their machines. They have photo printing, document printing, like it's pretty amazing the services that they have. So I did quite a bit of research before I went on my trip to see like what my options were. So all you need to do is download an app. There's multiple ways to do this, but for me, the fastest way, the easiest way in my opinion, was to do it from your phone. So you download an app called Network Print. I can't actually sign in right now. I think their server is down, but you download this app called Network Print, you make an account, and then you upload your photos from your phone. And this was important to me. This is an important step of the process to me because I didn't want to spend so much time in the convenience store, like, you know, holding up the machine in case someone else wanted to use it. So I wanted to do as much prep as I could before I was ready to print. And so the layout is actually one that I created myself in Canva. I will link to it below, and I will include a little snippet of how I like upload the photos. It's really simple, but if you haven't used Canva before, I basically just created these frames and you just drop and drag your own photos in. So I will show you my screen later and I will show you how I do that. But basically I just created the template in Canva so that I could just drag and drop all these photos in when I was ready and then export it when I was done and then upload that to the app. And then basically all you need to do is go to the machine and there is a little section that has scan with QR code. You don't need to log in, you don't need to connect. Like these are all the different methods that I tried. On the phone, there is an option to scan with QR code. So you pull that up and then you just hold the QR code over the printing machine camera and it'll automatically load your photos in. So I thought that was incredibly useful and just so quick. I thought I had footage of this entire process. I might have lost the footage, unfortunately, but I do have some footage of me printing it out and, you know, paying with cash. So it does take cash only, but for a size like this, it is about 80 cents Australian. So it is 80 yen. So you will need cash. You can't pay with card, unfortunately. That's probably like the one major downside. Like if you don't have cash, you can't actually use it. But this is just regular photo paper, regular glossy photo paper. As you can see, I kind of just pushed it right to the edge in terms of the template because I wanted the photo as big as possible. And this is what it looks like in my journal. It is still a little bit on the small side, I will say, but I feel like for the ease of printing, I think it worked out really, really well. Like I can fit 9 perfectly on there. And so yeah, the size was great. Actually at first there is an option for sticker paper. So that's what I did here. And that is actually quite a bit smaller because the sizes for the sticker paper and the photo paper are different, unfortunately. And so this is really convenient because you don't need, you know, glue tape, and it actually sticks down quite well. Like it's quite sticky. But for me, the compromise wasn't worth it for the size. I really wanted a bigger photo. So if you would prefer not using glue tape and just want the convenience of the sticker paper, you still need scissors to cut it out, but that is an option. The only thing is that is 3 times more expensive. So this was 80 yen for this page, again 80 cents AUD, but the photo paper one was a little bit smaller and that was $3 a page. So 300 yen per page. And I love getting the best value out of things, and I already had glue tape, so I figured it wasn't really worth it for me, plus the compromise on the size, so I decided to just go with photo paper instead, because I could print 3 times as much for the same price. But that is basically it. That's the process. You download the app on your phone, Network Print. So this is what the app is called. This is what I use. This is called Network Print. Hopefully it still works and the server is just temporarily down, but basically that's what the screen looks like. You go to My Box, which is where you upload your photos. You just tap upload, and that's where I have the Canva file already saved to my phone, so I can upload it there. Of course, you don't have to do a template. You could create your own template in Canva, but I wanted to fit as many as possible on here and just cut it up. So I just made a 3x3 template. And then when you're ready to print, you will see this on your main screen. There is a thing here that says login with QR code. So again, My Box is your photos, and login with QR code is what you tap when you want to scan the code so it loads up your photos on the machine. So it works really well. There's even an option to find a local store, which is so convenient. So hopefully this still works if you are planning to go to Japan to download this app. Maybe it doesn't let me log in because I'm not in Japan right now. That might be a thing also, but that is the app that I use. It's just called Network Print. And I found that much easier and much faster than trying to, log in via Wi-Fi, connect the phone. Like, I just wanted to get in, get out really quickly. And so I could prep the files myself this way, but that's basically it. You just upload your photos on there, go to the machine, select which ones you want to print, and then put in the cache, and then it'll print it out immediately. There is an English option on the machine, which makes it really easy to use, but I would say the entire process is not that complicated. At first it was, because I couldn't figure out how to scan the QR code, but once you figure it out, it's actually really, really simple. And I feel like it's so cool because you have so much flexibility in how you want to lay this out. So you could just do 2 big photos here if you wanted, but it's really up to you how you want to do the Canva template. So I have not finished my Japan travel journal because I wanted to save these. I didn't need to save all of them really, but I wanted to show you what it looked like. That's my giant mosquito bite. I wanted to show you what it looked like. So I just printed a bunch out, and then when I was ready to journal, I would bring this with me to a cafe and then just cut it out. So you do need scissors because you will have to trim this out yourself. That did take a while, but it was kind of therapeutic, so I didn't mind. So pretty much every single photo in here is the photos that I printed out. I'm using the lightweight paper insert from Traveler's Company, and the photos hold up pretty well in here. Like, the photos are pretty thick, but the journal is like handling it really well, and it sticks down really well. But yeah, I feel like 3x3, this template, even though it is slightly on the small side for me, it still works really well. There's plenty of room to write. There's plenty of room for like layout, junk journaling, all that stuff. So that's basically how I printed photos in Japan. Will I consider getting a portable photo printer? Yes, maybe, especially if I'm going to a different country, but it's just so convenient and cheap to get it printed at a convenience store, and they're everywhere. They are honestly everywhere. From what I understand, 7-Eleven has its own printing function, but Lawson and Family Mart share the same either machine or same network, so you can print at either one of them. I mostly just went to Family Mart because that was the one that was always near me, but I really like the idea of printing there on the trip because I didn't have to carry around a photo printer. I didn't have to carry around extra photo paper or get worried that I wouldn't have enough photo paper. So it was definitely more convenient for me, and probably definitely a lot cheaper because I didn't own a photo printer to begin with. And this is the first time that I've printed photos out during the trip. Normally I come back home and print it out, but I really wanted to be able to journal while I was there so that I wouldn't forget everything. So most of this I actually did while I was in Japan during the trip because there's a lot of downtime. So we would go to cafes and I would, work on this. And I think it really did help for me journaling in real time rather than coming home and doing it. Obviously, I still have a lot to do, as you can see, but I think I would definitely do this again. I think I would definitely print photos out as I go, because journaling during the trip for me is a lot more enjoyable than needing to catch up when I get home. I am, of course, still looking forward to going through these memories and doing this. And once I do this, I will do a Japan journal flip through. But if you have any questions, if I've missed anything, please do let me know in the comments. But now we will switch to my screen and I will show you how I did my Canva template and how you can upload your photos in there. Again, I will leave the link to this template in the description below. It is free for you to use. You can rearrange it, redesign it however you want, but hopefully it is a helpful starting point, especially if you are planning to go to Japan and print photos there as well, because it'll be the size already automatically for this. I didn't mention the size of it, but I think I have some photos or hopefully a screenshot of a video, so I will put it on the screen what the size of this photo paper is and also this sticker paper one, so you can compare those, because the sticker paper one is a little bit smaller. But hopefully that helps, because I think it was pretty hard to find that information until I was actually in Japan. But I'm going to show you how I set this up in Canva now. Alright, we are in my Canva. This is what it looks like. So according to this, the size was 5 by 7 inches. That is the size we're working with the photo paper. This was the template that I made for the sticker paper initially, and yeah, it was too small, so I ended up just making it bigger, pretty much stretching it to the edges. If you remember, the edges did get a little bit cut off, but I decided that it was okay, so you might want to make this a tiny bit smaller. So basically, this is what, every single page looked like. I made a new page. I duplicated it every time I wanted to add a new template. As you can see, I did a lot. Let's see how many I actually did. I got up to 17 pages. So I printed out 17 of these pages, but the link that I gave you will just have the one for you to duplicate. So each one of these, you can drag in a new photo to, let me just drag in, let's say this, on top. That's basically how you replace a photo. You don't need to delete it, but when I give you the template, it'll look something like this. So I'm not actually deleting the entire frame, I'm just deleting the photo. So let's start with a clean slate. That is what it looks like. You are welcome to edit this to however you want. But when I go to upload something, I can just click on it and drag it in. This is for my desktop, so on your phone is a little bit different, but that's all it is. And let me add in another one, just like that. You just keep dragging in the photos. If you're on your computer, again, I will talk about how to do it on your phone. But if you want to rearrange, because I do it in 16:9, so if you want to reposition it, you just double click it and you can change it. You could even zoom in a bit more if you didn't like how it looked, but it'll keep it within the frame. So Canva is wonderful that way. It's really easy to replace photos. On the phone, it's pretty much the same thing. So actually, I think I'm going to switch to my phone now to show you how I would do that on my phone. Okay, as you can see, I am on my phone. This is where we left off on the computer. So I dragged and dropped those photos in. It's a lot easier on the computer, obviously, but you're probably going to be doing it from your phone like I did when I was traveling. So all you need to do is just tap on it and click replace at the very bottom. It's the first icon. You click replace and then you have access to your photos here. You can change it from recent to favorites. If you know what photo you want, you can favorite it at the time, which makes it a lot easier to find rather than, trying to search through everything. So let me just upload a photo from my house in there and that's it. That's how you do it. So it's super, super easy. And then if you decide you don't want that photo anymore, it's the same thing. You just click replace and that'll bring up your photos and you can change it. And let's say I've got all the photos here. Then I just tap in the top right corner. There is the export button, the share button. So once I tap that, then you can click download. PNG or JPEG is fine. I think JPEG tends to be a bit smaller, but PNG is probably slightly higher quality. It doesn't matter too much. I'm going to select current page 2 and then click download and it will download that into your phone library. And then what you can do is upload that into the network print app. It's as simple as that. You just click plus, you click upload, and that photo will be ready for you to print out. And that brings us to the end of the video. Hopefully that made sense. I am not great with structuring my thoughts very well. I just wanted to stream of consciousness talk about how I did it. But again, if I missed anything, please let me know and I will explain that. But hopefully for those of you without a photo printer, this is a great option for printing photos in Japan at a convenience store. And if you're wondering what glue tape I used, my favorite glue tape, which you can get in Japan at a Daiso, is the Kokyo tape glue. This is 110 yen from Daiso, $1.10 in Australian pretty much, and it's so good because it's so small. I have such tiny hands, so it's really good for my hands, but also it's thin enough and small enough that it's easy to get the edges, and I had no issues with it. It works so well, and this was basically my kit. And I also brought along quite small scissors. These are the scissors that I use. I'm not recommending them or anything. I've just had these scissors for years. I think I've had them for like 8 years now, I don't even know, but these are just like random Cricut scissors, and they had a lid so it was easy to carry around. And I basically just carried everything in my Delphonics pouch because it fit like really nicely in there, and yeah, I would just bring that to cafes and journal. And you may have seen that because I did post like journal with me's at a cafe, but that's basically all I did. Hopefully super simple and easy to follow. Again, there are different options you can follow, but this is just what I did. I'm not saying this is the best option. I'm just saying this was the easiest for me to figure out, and I found it really simple and really convenient, and most importantly, really cheap. So that is the end of the video. I really hope that was helpful and that made sense, but thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck with your Japan planning. Bye!